Dear worship leader, my name is Fisayo, and I will be sharing with you 7 tips for leading worship online. 7 tips for leading worship online. In this season of global pandemic, the world has been trying hard to stay together while apart, maintaining social distancing and all of that. The virtual world has been a major platform for people to be able to get together and still have a life close to normal. And the church has leveraged so much, so well on um, the virtual world. However, we still have we still have several worship leaders out there who still don't know how to have a seamless worship experience, make it participatory, and all of that. Who've been asking me questions, and I just thought I should share some of the tips that has helped me prepare better for leading worship online. Yes, so before I go on, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my social media platform at Fisayo on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fisayo I like to keep this relationship with you after now. Okay, come with me. So the first tip I'll be sharing with you for leading worship online is to remind yourself as a worship leader that God is omnipresent. Remind yourself that God is omnipresent, is present everywhere, beyond space, beyond time. You need to remind yourself, because many worship leaders have the tendency, to act like they are the only ones who carry God's presence, which is not true. You have to remind yourself that the veil has already been torn and everyone has access to God, whether in their beds, whether in their cars, in their sitting rooms, wherever they are, part time, God is right there with them. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3 says, "The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, in every place." The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. So that means that God sees everyone wherever they are. So it's not only while you're on stage trying to produce your worship session, trying to record. That's not where God is. So you need to remind yourself that God is no longer in the temple alone. He is everywhere at every time. Although people are in their own different levels of comfort and all of that, but God is definitely with them wherever they are, and He can hear them, He can hear their worship wherever they are. So it's very important for you to remind yourself. When you know this, then you won't do too much. So the second tip is, don't do too much. Jesus is already established and He would forever be glorified. He's already established as our high priest, and He will forever be glorified, forever and ever. Whether you are there or not, Jesus will always be glorified. So it's a privilege for you to be able to lead people in musical worship, and you shouldn't take it for granted. Your job is just to provide leadership at that moment. So you need to feel the pressure. You don't need to feel the pressure to overperform. You don't need to feel the pressure to overperform. Someone who is still in their pajamas, in the kitchen, in the sofa, or wherever they are, they may not really understand the essence of your jumping unnecessarily, trying so hard. You don't have to be forceful. You don't have to display so much energy. And this is not to say that, you can't display energy, you can have some fun while you're leading worship. Of course you can. But, you don't want to look awkward. You don't want to, you don't have to exert so much energy. It's not a physical gathering, so people may not be able to relate with all the energy that you're putting. You can't be so sure what the sound is like at the end where the person is receiving, whether they are having network issues, whether the sound is bad, and all of that. It's not your problem. However, you need to put all of this into consideration and ensure that you are not doing too much.